She's a very driven individual.
And Little Discovery, in the hands of Charlotte Jones, has cantered to the front.
I'm a happy person. I'm quite bubbly.
Dedicated to a job.
Judicial Review is going to win the finale for Jimmy Moffat and Charlotte Jones.
Never misses a beat at work.
One Bill Harm's going to win again. A treble on the day for Jimmy Moffat and Charlotte Jones.
I like to be optimistic. Good boy, come on. I'm quite loud, I'm always heard, outgoing, positive, straight to the point. I'm pretty honest.
She came here when she was 19 and she's never changed. She's always a can-do person on the front foot, wants to get things done. You know, we're a like-minded team.
We're in a really nice part of the country, in the Lake District, obviously when it doesn't rain. But we maybe have 20, 25 horses, sort of 30 tops when we're full. Good boy. And it just means that we can pay them a lot of more individual attention, i.e., as you can see, me putting my bridle on now. I'm from Bower-in-Furness. I don't come from a racing background. To be honest, becoming a jockey, it was kind of something I fell over really, and I kind of was like, oh, I'll just give it a go.
It is Altruism who's home and hose and winning in style here. Altruism and Charlotte Jones.
I'm a little bit different to most people. I got a first-class Bachelor of Science degree in equine science. Basically all the nerdy parts, but I am a bit of a nerd really when it comes to that kind of stuff. So yeah, I found it quite fascinating. No, good boy. I did always know I wanted to ride horses. I went to my Year 6 leaving assembly dressed as a show jumper, which is obviously a little bit different. I was fully kitted out as a show jumper at the age of 10, and I was really, really happy that that was all I was going to do. And if anybody spoke to me, what are you going to do? I'm going to ride horses. They said, you can't really ride horses for a job. I said, I am and I will. Right, sorry, I'm just going to have to run and get another pad. Is that all right? I'll be back in a second. Right, stay there, good boy.
She's a very driven individual. She works with Brian Harding, a jockey coach still now, and not afraid to ask questions. And she's very humble with that side of things. She's really willing to learn. If she maybe doesn't give a horse a great ride, then she's perfectly happy to take that constructive criticism in the right way and apply it the right way. And she doesn't need telling twice.
It's Great Pepper in front. The one trying to pick the pieces up is Mumford's Magic, and it is Great Pepper and Mumford's Magic is right alongside, but Great Pepper is spurred on, and it's a double for Jimmy Moffat and Charlotte Jones.
I've always prioritised my riding. I'm the type of person who likes to make things happen. I like to do. If I'm not going forward, I'm stood still, and I don't like standing still.
And the steward racing freely has already shown that he's capable of doing that by bolting past the runners on the way to the start, and it's a repeat performance here by the look of things. The steward now going off at a rate of knots, but the steward's on a mission. Charlotte Jones, Jimmy Moffat, and I'm trying to gauge now the leading margin. It would be 30 lengths, probably more. The steward well clear of the field. Miles clear. A furlong and a half to go, and the steward is still well clear. The steward by about 15 lengths. It's Charlotte Jones and the steward. It's been some day here for Charlotte Jones and Jimmy Moffat. We take it all back. The steward has won and has absolutely destroyed them. Amazing performance. The steward the winner.
Without sounding greedy, I kind of always want more, and I always want to be getting better and better, and it's like there's no ceilings. I'd rather work with horses than work with people, so it's one of them. A lot of people love dogs. Why would you not love one that's 3-4 times the size? Like, they're cool, aren't they? They're impressive. They're like people. As sad as it sounds, they're like your friends. Come on, mate. It's a communication that people probably don't understand unless you're sort of a part of their lives and things, but I enjoy the adrenaline. I like going fast. I've always been a kid that's liked going fast on a horse and jumping big things and whatnot. So I feel like to be able to do it professionally is a real privilege.
She's got a great connection with horses, great feel for horses, very sympathetic rider. Horses jump really well for her. That's one area I think she's as good as anyone. She has a quiet style of riding, and with those subtleties, horses respond to her, and horses do run for her.
Here's the final hurdle. Aptly puts over it safely, and it's aptly put, trying to find a little bit more here for Charlotte Jones, and going close home, Jimmy Moffat and Charlotte Jones score at Newcastle again.
Oh, you were brilliant. Becoming a jockey was very difficult. Race riding, it probably doesn't get the recognition it deserves across all equestrian disciplines. People probably don't realise how hard it is. Even in things like making split-second decisions at 30 and 40 mile an hour. That gets underestimated a hell of a lot. When I started, I'll hold my hands up, I was everywhere. I wasn't great in terms of as a jockey, but having ability in the saddle and willingness to learn and improve, I'd take on board any criticism I possibly could and just try and block out any negative really and be a bit ignorant towards it, but it's worked so far.
We minded her over the first sort of couple of seasons. I could see that she came from a non-racing background, and we wanted to sort of bed her in the right way and put her on horses that were A, safe, and B, with half a chance, and it gives them confidence on the track, and I'd never want to take that away from her. In the last sort of season or so, she's developed as a rider. She rides whatever she feels she wants to.
He kept going, there's no chance in that. I'm really sorry, but I've got to ride
It's all right, no worries.
Right, thank you.
Good luck.
So now I've ridden 73 winners. To be honest, I can't really believe it. Every day, I mean, people will say to me, "What do you do for work?" And I just ride horses, and that's it. That's the top and bottom of it. And I enjoy what I do. But again, I think from coming from somewhere that's so far out of this lifestyle and out of the racing sort of culture, it just doesn't really feel real that I'm a jockey and that this is what I do. It's good to be able to compete on playing fields with some of the best riders in the country. Thanks for the ride, I appreciate it. We all want winners, and we're all competitive people, so it's about trying to get an edge over the next person. And I'm naturally quite light, so I struggle keeping the weight on as opposed to obviously having to make the weight. So I do try and do a lot of sort of like building muscle type exercises. I focus quite a lot on lower body. Obviously having strong legs is a massive part of race riding, so I feel like the stronger I can get my legs and myself, my core, that helps me a lot in the saddle, so that is areas I do try and stick to. I noticed if I do drop any more weight, I find myself not as strong in the saddle and physically when it comes to holding horses, so I do try and put some upper body in there, but again it's mainly lower body focused, but I will try and put that in there just to help keep me generally strong more than anything. We can't not be seen as athletes if we're not putting the work in ourselves. It's about taking the job seriously.
My wife Nadine and I have both backed Charlotte from day one. We could see that she was a good rider and see she was ambitious, and every time she rides a winner for us, it's a lovely thing because it's homegrown, and it just always feels that little bit more special when she's homegrown, she's a local girl, she knows the horses, and we all celebrate together. It's a surprise that she doesn't get more outside rides, and certainly, riding out other stables is always an option, but there are limited opportunities particularly in the north, with only a handful of meetings, and a lot of those spare rides are hoovered up by the top lads, and so it is tough going.
I get frustrated with the lack of opportunity, but you do just have to try and have a bit of a mental block really, and sort of not really overthink it. I'm not able to ride out anywhere, which I think is probably a big factor, but it's fine because I think it works for me, and the horses I've got to ride now I'm really, really lucky to be involved with. Everybody wants more rides, everybody wants to be at the races every single day, and I just want to be operating like everybody else. I'm very proud to be a woman in sport in general, especially in racing, and I hope I can inspire more women to do what I do and to do the job. As for the reasons why there isn't many more women in the sport, I'm not 100% sure. I think racing could probably do more to promote females. I think probably targeting a younger audience and making it a bit more known and publicised, really, that there are women in this sport. People say to me, if somebody asks me what I do and then it gets round to saying you're a jockey, they say, well, you don't look like one. And I kind of think, okay, whatever, but what am I supposed to look like? A boy?
I think she's a great advertisement to racing, you know, that what can be done with hard work and dedication, and at the same time showing that it's not just all a male-dominated sport. Girls can do this incredibly well, given the opportunities, and are on a par with the men when they get the experience behind them. And I think statistics and race records will show that.
I wouldn't say I've experienced anything as sexism too bad. I've been sort of shouted at by security guards a couple of times for walking the track, so I've complained about that straight away. Like I'm not walking the track. I always walk the track every time I ride, and I'm not going to do it because a security guard's told me I'm not allowed. There are obviously areas of the weighing room which can be improved. People argue that happens. I don't personally think that's because I am a girl. I know that would be the same in football, rugby, whatever you're in. It's dog eat dog, everyone's there for themselves. And not just that, it's dangerous out there. We're travelling 30 and 40 mile an hour, jumping 5-foot fences on horses. You have to take it seriously and be aware of what you're doing. I'd love to be in line for a first female champion jockey one day, but obviously you need a lot more ammunition and things to make that happen. I want to be riding at the big meetings and getting big race wins and competing with the best. I want to be up there with the best.
I think given the right opportunities with the right horses, that would put Charlotte a bit more into the spotlight, and she can go as far as she wants. But we all need the ammunition. You need the ammunition, you need the right horses to put a jockey in the right position. You know, show me a good horse and I'll show you a much better jockey.
I don't know really what it'll mean to me when I get my 75th winner again. It's a milestone, isn't it? It's a massive achievement, and I remember thinking when I had my first one, I was absolutely buzzing I had my first winner, but then I thought, I've got 74 more to go. I'm a long, long way away, but I thought, oh, I'll never ever get there, like, I won't get there. But then it kind of just has, and I've enjoyed every step of the way, so I'm going to continue to keep reaching more milestones and keep having more winners to be able to get to the top.